Greetings, Thelemites. Guess what time it is? It's October, and you know what that means. It's Inktober 2018. Using my favorite font here called Scythe. I use that for a lot of my videos and for my book Thelema as well for the chapters. I did Inktober last year. I didn't get all the way through the month. I'm going to try and do that again this year. Hopefully I'll get through all 30 days. For those of you who don't know what Inktober is, it's basically just a fun little activity that artists like to do. They'll draw a daily drawing, some sort of sketch using ink, or in my case, I'll be using Photoshop because I'm better at it. So I'm just going to draw and comment as I go. Not really sure what I'm going to draw. I'll probably just redraw this in some sort of fancier stylistic form. And open up my brushes. We'll just start with the ink brush. These are the K and Kale brushes. So for those who don't know what K and Kale is, Kenan Rafferty is an artist. He works for Riot Games. He worked on League of Legends and a number of other things. He has a art tutorial online, which is pretty good. You can get a lot of interesting tips and techniques from him there. If you're looking to learn how to draw, I would recommend that if you can't afford to go to art school. He has his own channel online. A lot of it is free. I think he also does classes. There's my eraser brush here. Eraser. Here also ink. Just make sure everything is set up correctly here. Okay, good to go. So I really like that we're heading into autumn now. The heat was driving me a little bit crazy. And the bugs more so than the heat. I was born in winter, the Pisces, for anybody that didn't know. And I much prefer the cold a lot better. I rather like living in New Jersey because we have the change of seasons. It's good. So once, after about 3 months of one particular season, when it starts to get old and stale, you get that nice change. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not expecting this to be the most amazing artwork ever, and really just using it as sort of a warm-up. I might be working on my book a little bit later. So just get a little bit of practice in on that before I start working on the cover. So usually I decide what I'm going to work on for the Inktober at least, usually I decide what I'm going to work on sort of the day of. But if anybody would like to respond in the comments, if you have suggestions, if there's one in particular that I like, I will certainly take that up. Mm-hmm. Normally I like to listen to either music or podcasts when I draw. But I thought I would try doing sort of a live video for a change. Give me practice at that. Halloween is coming up soon. I'm a very big fan of that holiday. I wasn't always. When I was a little kid, I used to hate Halloween, if you can imagine that. I liked the candy part. I didn't like the dressing up so much part. Now I'm an adult. I really like cosplaying a lot. Let's see if we can do something a little bit more interesting than this. So I'm just going to duplicate that layer, turn one off, and start with the O here. I want to do this on a new layer. Do it on a new layer. So yeah, as I was saying, I really like Halloween. One thing I especially love is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Last year, I had done one piece of one of the pieces I did for Inktober last year was a scene with Jack and Sally on the that little spiral bridge thing, just kind of standing together in front of the moon, like zero down here or something, and then all the graves. Uh, One thing that I really like about Nightmare Before Christmas is the fact that it's appropriate to watch it anytime between October and December because it sort of spans Halloween and Christmas. Something else that I really like about Nightmare Before Christmas, besides literally everything about it, is the fact that if you think about it, it's sort of a religious allegory. You have Jack Skellington is essentially this worldly man who, in sort of a Faustian sense, has reached the pinnacle of worldly material success, and he finds himself distraught because he has uh, nothing to aim for in life. And so he goes off into essentially the wilderness and to the chaos of the unknown. And there has what you could essentially call a religious experience, wherein he meets with God, aka Santa Claus, and has essentially a revelation of heaven. But like many other prophets, when he tries to bring back knowledge of this experience and share it, he completely fails because uh, even though everybody looks up to him and respects him, he lacks the experience and the rhetorical skills. Not even that he lacks the rhetorical skills, he lacks sufficient means of conveying what to him was a very personal experience to try and explain, that feeling that he got when he sings the What's This song to a bunch of people who had never experienced it before. And a lot of people, prophets and religious figures throughout history, have struggled with this as well, trying to convey to somebody a deeply emotional experience that you've had to people that have never had that experience, whether it's drugs or religion or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly block this out. Use a mask for that. Let's label my layers here. And let's do this little dagger, or the key, which will make into a dagger. Trying to model it off of a sort of a Persian saber. I love the design where they have this sort of S-shaped crossguard. I actually use that for Jane's sword. In fact, you know what? Why don't we? Well, if I make that too long, it'll look like a J, which I don't want. So just keep that short. And block this out as well. Nope. Make sure we're on the mask there. Yeah, so I really like the particular style with the S-shaped crossguard. Did not mean to erase that there. Just has a really nice flow to it, and it's a very pragmatic weapon as well. I've actually studied uh, martial arts for a number of years. I've also studied a little bit of HEMA, which, for anyone who's not familiar with that, is historic European martial arts, basically medieval sword fighting and weapons fighting. You can look up channels such as Shadversity or Lindy Beige or Snap Jelly, people like that. If you want to learn more about that, Scala Gladiatoria is another very good one. If you want to learn more information about that. I believe there's a club in New York that that does that. Let's make this a little bit thicker. Can make it a little bit longer, I guess. And just pull it back. Bob Ross, I am not. And we'll just put a little bit here. Get in a little bit tighter. A little smaller. We'll just put a little bit of detail like that. Yeah, so if any of you is doing Inktober as well, you can message me on social media, either on Twitter or Instagram, and let me know what you're working on. I'd be interested to take a look. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for the other 29 days. I'll probably figure them out as I go. If you have suggestions, again, make sure to leave that in the comments. Obviously, after the 30th of this month, it's not really going to matter. I probably won't see them after that. So make sure that you get it in before that time. All right, that's enough of that, I think. Do we want to add a little bit of white to this? Yeah, let's take back a little bit. Sort of like a gem-like object here. Yeah, that looks good. In fact, let's make that brush size a little bit smaller even. So a lot of drawing is mostly about thinking in terms of shape. and then just sort of adding and subtracting things. I don't like that. So that's another good rule, is that if it looks wrong, it is wrong. And I'm using the brush instead of the eraser, like a dirt. Mm-hmm. Usually if I start, uh, this pumpkin is probably more of just like a warm-up, and then usually at some point I'll start to get into a flow, and then I'll just want to go and add more and more and more and more and more details to stuff. You can already see how much more detailed that is compared to the pumpkin. I may have to go back and fix that, or maybe not. Maybe we'll just leave it as is. We'll see. This is just a sketch. It doesn't have to be anything. So you can see I'm just adding and subtracting, sort of converging on the form that I want until I get it just how I want, or until I decide that I'm done with it. So I'm going to say that one's done. Let's zoom back out. That looks pretty good when it's shrunken down. What do we want to do next? I like the way that eye turned out there. See that this bar here, let's turn that into like a cool scythe. In fact, I'm going to lower the opacity of this just a little bit. So actually, this is probably going to be more closer to like a sickle than a scythe, given its size. With scythes, they were originally sort of an ancient farming tool used for cutting grasses and wheat and things of that nature, usually low to the ground. Normally you would see them sort of shaped like this, and they have two handles coming out the sides, and then the scythe blade would come down here, and you would cut the wheat along that way. Most people are familiar with this sort of a shape, which is a much later invention. It's technically not as good as this one is for cutting grasses and such. It's more of an archetypical form. This is going to be something of a hybrid of the two. Again, I'm not really looking to make anything in particular that's necessarily functional. It's more just having fun, which if you're drawing and you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Let's see. I want this to be the top or the bottom? Top or bottom? Maybe split the difference. Yeah, split the difference. So something that I usually do in dealing with these tight spaces here, if I don't want to make an extra layer, I'll work on one side of the curve at a time. So in this case, I'll make sure that the inside is right, exactly how I want it. So we get that nice shape. Then I'll come back and I'll mold the outside and get the outside more or less how I want it. It's more like a flag or a blade of grass than a scythe. Can we do to fix that? Let me zoom in. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. This is one reason why I like working digitally as opposed to with traditional medium. I'll take that, move that up, lighten it a little bit. Stick that behind, just to give a little bit of depth to that. And then if we put our text back to normal opacity, it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, we'll leave that as is. Let's see, what else? Do we want to do any more? Let's do this N over here. I don't know if I'm going to do the entire thing, but we'll see. We'll go however long we go. And drop that back down. Make a new layer. What do we want to do for this? I'm thinking headstone. Maybe. I'm thinking something sort of along the lines of like and then maybe have a little thing come off the side there. Have this be a little bit of grass, sort of like that. Maybe. About a gate. Gate looks a little better. Let's make a gate. I'll try and keep this nice curve here. If we can. Again, working on the inside first and then the outside. Although I'm probably going to just raise the opacity of that layer, so it's probably not going to matter too much because I think it's going to just be black. And then let's see, what can we turn this into? How about a little a lantern? I like these little wrought iron lanterns. Maybe I'll save that for a different one. What else can we put on top of there? So one thing you want to do when you're drawing is have sort of consistency in terms of shapes. So maybe we'll mirror this little shape over here. Maybe not necessarily the spiral, but let's take a circle shape that we had there. The reason you do that is to make it look like things belong together. Because if they look like they belong together, then it's going to be less jarring for you. It'll create a nice sense of harmony. and you'll feel much better about the piece. It's a little too thick there. So again, just getting it inside right, then dropping that back. A little darker. Just to suggest a shadow underneath. Drop back a little bit. When I zoom out, it's going to lose some of that detail and it'll look okay. So maybe come around like this. Something like that, maybe. I'm going to just duplicate that so I have a saved copy in case I mess up. And then I'm just going to, I guess I could have just made a new layer too, thinking about it. I'm not even pressing shift here, really. I'm just kind of eyeing it. Little spiked portcullis type thing. Let's see how that looks. Looks more like those little clacky ball things, the Newton balls. That's what it looks like. Not quite what we want. See, so this is why we made a new layer. We can just undo all that. And let's try again. How do we make this look better? Maybe fewer routes. And this time I'm actually going to hold shift down. Nope. 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 Third time's a charm. Let's see if we can make them look more spiked this time. How's that? It's a little better. Not really feeling the spikes on this, honestly. Sad. But we can get rid of them easy enough if we just go up into the history. That looks pretty good as is. Let's see. What else do we want to do? Kind of don't like how it's just hanging like that. Needs a little something. Even just that. That's a little better. Again, not trying to make anything in particular out of this, just playing. Let's see if we can go back and add just a little bit of color to this pumpkin. So I'm just going to steal that gray. And just give it a little bit of shade so it doesn't look as much like. So it looks like it belongs a little bit more in the piece. Give it a little shading here as well. That was our first pancake, as it were. The first one is always sort of a failed attempt. Now, if I really wanted to be like hyper rendered on this, I could go and get rid of these lines, but I don't think I'm going to necessarily do that. Maybe. We'll see how I feel. I don't know how long I'm going to go on this. I'm going to go until I feel like I want to stop. That sounds pretty good. Let's make it just a little bit dark. Again, I'm not worried terribly about consistent lighting or anything like this. I'm just doing something very basic for now. You can draw whatever you want. Most people don't spend hours and hours doing Inktober pieces. I'm not going to spend hours and hours doing it, maybe a half hour. I don't know how long I've been going, honestly. Usually somewhere between a half hour to an hour is pretty good. Just something quick and fun to get you drawing every day. That looks pretty good. Maybe even a little bit darker near the bottom. So what I'm doing here is I have these main, and I'm not using reference for this either. You should probably use reference if you want it to actually look halfway decent. I'm just playing. So what I'm doing here is I made these major striations, and then I'm just sort of following along the form with my brush strokes. And that makes it look like, gives the illusion that it's going in the same direction. It suggests the form. As you can think about it, where if I have lines going this way, it suggests that it's round, whereas if I have lines going, this way, or if I even just have like straight lines, see, that looks a lot more flat compared to those two. Lots of tips and tricks. I'm not really intending for this to be an art tutorial either. I'm just kind of commenting as I go along, so you can have something interesting to think about and listen to as you're watching me draw this. Okay. Let's make this eye a little bigger. Maybe I'll do one more, and then we'll call it at that. Do the E. What do we want to make the E? Do we even want to do the E? Kind of like that as is, to be honest. Let's turn the opacity back up. Let's see. Could do the numbers as well. That's a thought. Let's try doing the numbers as well. Do we want them up here? Normally, if I were to do like a full-on composition, I would do little thumbnail sketches and place all my layouts and so forth. But again, we're just playing. Deselect. Normally, I would hang this on some sort of grid armature as well. Very fancy looking too. Let's make that like a teardrop. Ooh. Wonder how that would look. We did something like I wonder if this is how Google homepage drawings are made. Yeah, I don't think attaching it would look particularly good, but we could maybe suggest something. Something else that you want to do is see how my lines are not quite connecting, but they're pointing to other points. That creates a sense of flow as well. This is way, way, way too long. Why did I make that so long? I don't know. All right. We're going to speed this up a little bit. There we go. Many benefits of working digitally. And then how do we want to do the 8? Let's do something really, really fancy. Like that. Where it just suggests that it's passing behind. This technique is called passage, where the lines don't quite connect all the way to another section, and it just kind of passes behind, or suggests that it's passing behind by leaving a little gap. This is still way too long. Okay. Let's get that all the way to about there. I'm just going to duplicate that to make it a little bit darker, merge it down. And not quite. Let's see if we can fix that. I think this will work out better if we just move all these down to be on the same line like that. And then move this 0. Even make it a little bit bigger. Again, just playing, having fun, not really planning out anything. That looks a little better. Still not quite right. I'm just going to cheat and rotate the entire thing like that. So it's more or less on the same ground plane. One of the keys to being efficient in digital art is to use a lot of shortcuts and cheats and tricks. I mean, use the tools if you got them, right? Right? And a little bit smaller than that. This is a little too high. Again, I could spend hours just going through and perfecting this. I'm just following that basic rule that I said before, where if it looks wrong, it is wrong. So I'm just adjusting it until it stops looking wrong. Which, depending on how trained you are, how sensitive your eye, that could be never. You could be stuck doing this for all eternity. That should be coming up to the end of this very soon. Okay. Let's try one more thing. Give it just a little depth. I suppose an easier way to do that would be just to cast a drop shadow, but we're gonna fake the effect for now. It's essentially the same thing. Okay. So I think that's pretty good for a day one. Oh, I should put day one on there. Day one. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Just for a first warm up of the month. Thank you for being here with me. Hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'm not going to do a video every day, but I may do a few more. I'll be posting the actual finished ones onto my Instagram and linking to Twitter. So if you want to keep tabs on what I'm doing there, that would be the place to follow it. All right, that's it. Take care for now.